Yeah. Hello everyone. Welcome for the online classes. During the sessions, we are here to talk about the human resource management in the international scenario, which is also known as IHRM, or it is also known as International Human Resource Management. So if you do remember, in our previous class we spoke some things about the introduction part of the international human resource management, and under the international human resource management we are looking for the way of managing the human resources with the business organization in the systematic manner at the international scenario. All right. So at this specific management process, being as an HR manager or being as a top level of the authorities, we would be always managing the humans, means that employees or staff or level within the business organizations. So this will particularly focusing on the recruitment at the international level, selections, training, development, performance appraisal, dismissal, managing the promotions, and so on at the international level. And then we can define that the IHRM as the set of activities aimed managing organizational human resources at the international level to achieve the organizational objectives and to achieve the competitive advantages over the competitors at the national and international level. So dear students, as we believe that in the business world there are lots of competitions, there are lots of competitors toward the products and services. So due to these things, each and every business organization might be having international goal apart from the having national goal. So in order to reach to the international goal set by the organization, so there are some of the activities to be collectively come together and perform or achieve that particular goal of the business at the international level. So then we give the definition of IHRM given by the different people, but the IHRM is consisted of three elements or three parts, that is considered as the home country employees, and then host country employees, and then the third country employees. For example, if someone is a national of Afghanistan and he or she is hosted by the by the company of Indian, so he or she would be, the Indian would be our host. And then if someone is coming from other countries and working over there, so that is also called as the combination of IHRM is considered as the combination of say aspects. यानी से आबादी मुख्तलिफ बहम यकजा शुदा मुआबतनी के बैग तारीफ़ी और IHRM बरसालन हुई है इसके कारमंदा या लेबरी बसत खुद किश्वारी के हॉस्ट बेकुनन व बसत किश्वारी के न हॉस्ट बोशा व न मुतालिक बहमो खुद किश्वार बोशा. So these three combination of the employees always give a definition of the IHRM. So the basic understanding of the management is mean that behind the human resource at the international level there should be proper planning, organizing, leading and controlling, all right, to just manage the humans or employees at the international level. And then later on we discuss some things of the basic definition given by the Boxall in 1992, all right, and then we discuss particularly the different definitions given by the different scientists. So the IHRM includes the comparative HRM studies, example difference in companies in Japan, Thailand, Australia and Switzerland. So IHRM also focusing on some of the management of the human resources in the Japan scenario, Thailand and other countries. So what we are going to continue is that the importance of the IHRM. Basically, human is one of the significant and sophisticated resources of the business organization. So that's why the human resources are very important at the international scenario, that the employees must be, the skills or the competences or the knowledge and experience must be managed systematically at the international level as well. So it is very important. The importance of the international human resource management is getting increased every day, all right, due to the dynamic changes in the business world. So as we have globalization and internationalization, as I say, over the world, the result number of the multinational companies are getting increased. So with the passage of time, the number of the international company would be increased at each and every corner of the world, and there is some of the connections between the businesses at the different countries. There are some of the supply chain provided by the different companies at the international level. So according to the Brewster all 2017, the multinational companies are increased and there is economic dominance as 80% of the industrial output for the world is produced by the world's thousands largest companies. So within the world, there are, as this scientist or this person believe that there are around thousands largest companies at the world. Different type of the product would be different type of the output would be produced by them. So this also given a conception of the IHRM, so that exactly everything must be managed systematically. And he also believed that in 2007 also managed that the number of the multinational companies increased global infrastructure transferring in increasing such sending work between the team members of the company based on that. So exactly the area of the operations of the companies by the name of multinational companies are always encompasses or encompassing a large area of the market. So for this purpose, the human resources are considerable to be managed. And everywhere where over the world, in addition to this trend, diversity in increasing within the organization, and the multicultural must be carefully considered by the organizations to utilize its human resource effectively in their organization. So once again, to the point of globalizations and point of global competitive environment between the businesses. So each and every business organization must be having a look on the international movement of the products and services. So based on that, they must be utilizing their resources in this systematic manner where they could get the effectiveness and efficiency from that process. So the other point is that one of the crucial role of the human resource manager in the developing effective human resource management policies and practices for the organization, such as recruitment, the process of searching for the prospective candidates, rewards, all right, the compensation system of the business organizations, training is for the purpose of improving the skills and competencies of the employees, development, communications, and etc. Flexibility, and so on. It's mean that this due to today's scenario of the business, so the human resource manager is something like a very tough and very crucial. It is not something easy that we can conduct recruitment at the international level, or we must be having some policies toward the international trainings conducted to the employees. Is something considerable under the human resource importances. So if the humans are not available, exactly the businesses cannot dynamically move. And there is the recent view toward the importance of the human resource management is that in these days many large companies are trying to expand the company from their own countries to origin or to over all the world. Exactly today the goal of the business organization is to be at national level, but also they are going to set a goal at the international level as well. So this is very important, human resource to be managed effectively and efficiently at the international scenario, very important. So each and every business organization are trying to expand their operation and services at the international level also. If you talk about some things about the MNC's company, talk about the Apple, talk about the Samsung, Bata, and other companies. Apart from their own countries, they are operating in other countries as well. So this requires some of the human resources to be involved. So that human resources must be having some skills and competencies toward the planning and organizing of the resources at the international scenario. So human resource management has some features. There are respectively particular some point. The first point under the IHRM, exactly the human resource, all right, is that it is pervasive in nature, as it is presence in all the enterprises. As I said before that none of the business organizations can operate either product or services without human. So human is very initial resources, very significant resources of the business organization. The second point is that it is focused on the result rather than role. So why we are going to look behind the human resources to be managed, because it should be something, so we must be having output that is action based rather than playing role or just simply talking or simply sitting. So it is based on the actions. So the action must be taken toward the decisions, toward the controlling, planning, organizing, and etc. The next point is that it focuses, all right. The next point is it tries to help employees develop their potentially fully. So no one is perfect. So for the purpose of making someone to be more skillful, to be more competencies, and to be more knowledgeable and experienced, so they required what? Management. They must be developed in the term of doing work systematically with lots of enthusiasm and with lots of inertia. The other point of the HRM or the features of HRM is that it encourages or encourage employees to give their best to the organization. Motivation is also one of the important aspects of the HRM to be considered by the managers within the business organization, because with the help of motivations we can motivate the employees to do the work better. The next point is that it is all about people at work, both at individual level and group level. Today, the focus of the business organization at the departmental level is that to assign the task at the team level rather than individual. So the HRM is not something only focusing on the individual, assigning tasks to individual, but HRM is also a combination of what? Assigning tasks, duties and responsibilities, yeah, at individual as well as team level. The last point is that it tries to put people on the assigned job in order to produce good results, right? As they say that putting right person for the right job is also one of the major intention or features of the of the human resource management. So this is the particularly features, around 6 to 7 features of the human resource management. So basically, the HRM under the features, we say that it helps the organization to meet the goal. Exactly, each and every organization has some vision and missions on goal. So for the purpose of reaching to the goals, human resource is very significant and important. They play very significant factors in the business organization. So the second thing is that it tries to build and maintain cordial relationship. Exactly, HRM is some things where it's always maintaining different relationships, working relationships, all right, with each and every department, with each and every individuals. And the last one is that it always, distribute some of the disciplines, activities, utilization, knowledge, inputs drawn from the psychology, economics, with respect to the economic and other things. So the HRM is always maintaining proper disciplines toward managing the work. So the other portion is that international human resource natures. Under the nature and scope, we could say that the way of managing the human resources at the international level is based on the below mentioned point. The first thing is that, as I said before, that it is pervasive in nature and present in all the. There is no business organizations where they can manage, all right, the organizations. Apart from the finance and other real assets of the business organization, human is very important. Without a human, nothing can be, performed. The other point under the nature is that it focuses on the result rather than the roles. As I said before, these are particularly, the point under the nature. So naturally, HRM is considered as a process of bringing people and organizations work together so that the goal of the business must be performed or met. This is very important to be known that people, it's mean that employees within business organization must not believe simply, they must be managed systematically. So under the natures, once we say that HRM, it means that the movement of the dynamic movement of the people, it means that the employee within the work. The other point is that assigning the task at the individual as well as the group level. HRM says naturally means that to meet the, in order to achieve the goal of the business organization, so the employees must be motivated. The other point of the nature of the thing is that maintaining relationship between the employees. The other thing is yani ایجاد کردن و به وجود آوردن یک دیسیپلین و نرم و استفاده از منابعی که داخل یک اداره وجود دارند به سطح منظمتر و بهترتر چی شود مدیریت شود. So the particular scope of the HRM is that once we say that the scope of the HRM, which means that the HRM is going to be implemented, or the area of using HRM within the business organization, or at the 3 points. The first thing is that the scope of the HRM at the personal aspects. Once we say that the personal aspects, this is the concern with the manpower planning, recruitment, selection, placements, transfer, promotions, training, and etc. And early, each and every business organization must be having some of the policies and strategies in order to conduct the recruitment selection process must be at which level, and then placements must be done in which method, transfer is required. So the employees are performing nice, so based on their performance appraisals report, they must be promoted. So these all things are coming under the personal aspect. So HRM is going to be used in the selection, placement, transfer, promotions, and training and development, layout and retrenchment, and then remunerations, incentives, and productivity, and etc. The second area of usage of the HRM is that welfare aspects, and the third thing is that industrial relationship aspects. So once we say that welfare, it means that HRM is always involved with the creating a very nice and cool and calm environment to the employees who are working within that business organization, like canteens and restrooms and other lunchroom, housings, transport, medical assistance, education, health and safety. Exactly today, if you look to the international business organization, they are always focusing on the health of their employees. If anything happened to them medically, so they will be carrying to the hospitals and they will be following the medications. Yeah. So the last thing is that the area of usage of the HRM or HRM implication in the industrial relation aspects. So this cover union management relation, joint consultation, and then collective bargainings, grievance, disciplinary procedure, and other things. So once we talk about the industrial relations aspects of the human resource management, it means that there are at the international level there are some of the unities like labor unity in India, all right, labor unity in Pakistan and other countries. So this is also playing very important and significant roles during the scope of HRM at the international level. Functions, basically the human resource functions are of two types. Within the international companies or multinational companies, so the HR department is always playing two functions, major functions. The first one is that managerial functions, and the second thing is that operational functions. یعنی بس بین المللی کمپانی‌هایی که می‌خواهند که تولیدات و خدمات را داشته باشند، اینا نیروی انسانی خود را به دو وظیفه عمده چیز میکنن، طبقه بندی میکنن که یکیش از وظایف مدیریتیش میباشد که یک HR منیجر بسید یک دیپارتمنت چیز میکنن پیش میبرن، و یکی از وظایف چی میباشن، وظایف that is called as وظایف عملیاتی. So basically the managerial functions could be right, so the particular functions like could be divided into 5. So functions of the global human resource management are a world vital concept to strategic operation of the business. So IHRM is a little bit more focusing on the strategic policies and strategies of the business organization. So once we talk about the 5 main functions, these are the operational functions of the HRM, starting from the recruitment. So basically recruitment is the process of searching for the prospective candidates whenever the organization is feeling some vacancies at the international level. So this is basically what they will conduct the recruitment. It is just the way of searching for the prospective candidates. और برای چیز ما چیز میکنیم تعقیب کردن یا سرچ کردن در پشت کارکنان یا نیروی انسانی که قابل وجودی شرایط باشن یا eligible باشن. So that is called as recruitment. So after the recruitment, when the deadline of the announced position is coming, so after that, so what will happen? They will conduct they will close the deadline of the recruitment will be closed, and then they will be moving behind the interview, and then they will be having a look on the making efforts and negotiation, salary, benefits, etc. So at the last point, they will be talking and negotiating the salary matter, either it is increase or decrease. So basically, recruitment is one of the operational functions, very major operational functions of the business organizations, either at the national level or international levels. So companies that recognize the value of their people place a significant amount of stock in the recruitment functions of the HR. So there is good reason for this. Having a solid team of the employees can rise the company profile help to it and achieve the profitability and keeping it running effectively and efficiently. So exactly, as much as the recruitment process is stable, as much as the multinational companies are conducting the systematic recruitment process, that much the output and that much the work would be more effective and efficient. The second thing is training. Training is always conducted for the purpose of improving, the skills and competences and knowledge and experience of the employees. The training could be always done in a two ways, that is off the job or on the job. So sometimes the trainings are conducted at the working environment, and sometimes the trainings are conducted at the vocational level. So it means that the employee will get their holiday and vacation, and based on that, for 1 week, 2 weeks, 10 days, or month and 2-3 months, respectively 1 year, based on the policy of the business organization, they would be getting the trainings. So the main intention or the main functions of the training is that to improve the skills, competencies, knowledge, experience of the employees within the business organization. So respectively, if you look here, that the training function is amplified when the organization is running global operation in a number of different locations. So once an organization by the name of XYZ, anything could be either national or international. So basically we are focusing on the international companies. If you talk about the international companies, so the international companies are always trying to expand their market at the different geographical area or environment. So this is also affecting that the employees required what? Training, because they are new to the environment or they are new to the system and application, so they must be trained. The third thing is that professional development. So there are some of the other operational function of the HR department of the international companies or multinational companies is that professional development. So closely related to training is HR functions in professional development, but whereas training needs are centered around the organization process and procedure, professional development is about providing employees with the opportunities for the growth and education on individual basis. So once we look to these functions of HR or HR manager within the business organization, these functions focus on that the way of improving or providing opportunities to the employees in the term of education. If they are master, they will be sending to the PhD level. If they are bachelor, they will be sending to the to the master level under the schedule of scholarship or under the funded scheme of the scholarship or study. They will be sending to some of the universities or some of the other countries to learn, to improve their educations, and come back and join the organization and do the work. So this is the third one. Training is just inside the organization or outside the organization for the purpose of just improving the skills and competencies and what do we say? We can say that the experience. So once we talk about the professional development under these functions, it focuses on basically the way of improving just education, improve the education of the employees at the different level. So yeah, so many human resource departments offer professional development opportunities to their employees by sponsoring them to visit conferences, external skills training days, or trade shows. As I said that before, so the students can be trained at the national or international level. So that is basically focusing on the off-the-job methods, because the employees are going to be sending externally to improve the skills of their self. Sometimes some of the national employees, who are working, let's suppose in Afghanistan, so they will be sending to other countries to know the cultures, to know the something better than the national level and implement it at the national organization environment. So the result is like a win-to-win. So it helps that the employees feel like she is a vital and cared for part of the team, and the organization benefits from the employees' added skills, set and motivation. The next functions of the IHRM is that benefits and compensations. As I basically say, that the costs and benefits must be matching. This is the policy of the IHRM or HRM, managing the humans within the business organization. This policy says that as per the skills, as per the knowledge, as per the competencies, the employees must be benefited, must be paid. Alright, so benefits is whatever the utilization of the humans by the organizations, and the benefits is that the payment given to the employees by the organization. So While the management of the benefits and compensation is given for human resources, the globalization of the companies in the 21st century has meant that the HR must now adapt a new way to providing benefits to the organization employees, that is non-traditional benefits such as flexible work hours. Exactly, today we will be having like three times working, like early morning, late morning, and evening shifts, different shifts of the the working or employment. So that is also one of the benefits. All right, paternity leave. All right, have conducting the leave to the giving leave to the employees. All right, extending vacation time, expanding or increase or giving more vacation to the employees. Let's suppose an employee is has a vacation of 20 days. So let's suppose due to some of the personal problem, he or she would be asking from the organization about the more time, so the organization would be giving these benefits to the employees. Telecommunicating or ways to motivate existing employees and to attract and retain new skills employees. Exactly. So balancing between these two is very important. So the salary must be as per the benefits. The salary or the payment or the wage must be based on the qualification and experience or knowledge of that particular employees. The next one is that ensuring legal compliance. So once we talk about these functions of the HR, so the final functions of the human resource management is to perhaps the least glamorous but arguably of utmost important. This is very important. Ensuring legal compliance with the labor and tax law is a vital part of the ensuring the organization to continue existence. Yeah, exactly. The business organization must be following some of the rules and procedures, some of the norms of the particular constitution of that particular country. Today, there is another law at the international level. When the organizations are operating at the national, international level, there is particular constitutions like import and export. These all the things are coming at the international constitution. There is some business law at the international level that must be keep in mind by the HR department of that particular organization. So let me conclude it over here. So by conclusions, I will just would be having a summarized review of that. Under the features, we had some basic 7 to 8 features of the IHRM that must be keep in mind. And then we spoke some things about the nature and scope of the IHRM. Basically, what do you mean by what is IHRM all about? And we spoke about the scope in the 3 area where the implementation of IHRM is mandatory or going on. And the next thing we spoke some things about the functions. Function is managerial function, which is planning, organizing, leading, controlling. But here we are focusing on the operational functions, which is 5. So recruitment, yeah. So the second thing is training, and the third thing is professional development in the term of improving the education level of the employees, like from postgraduate, undergraduate to postgraduate, from postgraduate to the PhD and other level of the education. And the fourth one is benefits and compensation, and the last one is ensuring legal compliance. So the business HR department of the company must be considering the international law of the business world. Thank you so much. Thank you from your kind attention.